Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
It's a big day for me.
Big day.
I'm wearing a suit. Mm-hmm. I have got new headphones. Have I got the new stand, or you do have the new stand?
I have the new stand.
You have the new stand.
Yes.
We had to upgrade recently, Sarah.
Yes.
It looks great, y'all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you. Yeah.
Very impressed.
Well, last week, his stand that was holding his microphone kept bloop. It would
kept falling.
Fall down low,
Yes.
and then we'd have to pick it up and it would fall down low. It's because it was the rock and roll stand that I
Yes.
used from my band back
high
in the
school.
1990s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an
That is
OG.
amazing.
It was old. It was
It's amazing
old
that
as
you
the
still
hills.
have it.
Yeah, well, I am one of those, reduce, reuse, recycle, repurpose.
That's right.
Don't
Hoard.
ever get, yes. Hoard. yes, to the point of a problem for my life.
But you did not overdress today.
I
no.
did. So I did because, well, there's two reasons.
Okay, there's two reasons.
That
Tell
I
us why.
overdressed today.
Okay.
One is I had a board meeting, so I had to,
So you had to look sharp.
I had to look sharp for the bosses.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So that's one of the reasons. But the second one is today
Today.
is our 100th episode.
It is.
Of the Biofriendly Podcast.
Cue applause.
Amazing. Wow.
That was fake applause by Noel's head.
So excited.
And it is, you're hearing right now, if you're only listening and you're not seeing the face of the wonderful and amazing Sarah Evans from Well Aware. She was our first guest.
First guest back in the old days.
Back in the old days when we were using Skype.
Yeah.
And there was no video.
Yeah.
So
There was no video at all.
No. So we decided
Wow.
when we knew episode 100 was coming up, we were like, wouldn't it be great to check back in with Sarah, to check in with Well Aware and see what's going on. So
And to not mention that it's now a video podcast.
yes, and to not let her know up
And
front.
to not tell her that I'd be wearing a suit.
Yeah. But that was a fun surprise. And unfortunately, I am not in my pajamas today, which would normally be happening on a Wednesday. So
Yes.
you're welcome.
I'll tell you what. Next time when we do the whichever the next one is,
Episode
the 200 or
Episode
whatever, when
200?
we have you back,
Yeah.
Oh, I would love that.
we'll
Yeah.
all wear pajamas. It'll
Let's
be
do
a
that.
pajama.
Let's do a pajama
episode.
party. Episode
Oh,
200
please, that
pajama
would be
party.
so fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So I'm going to put it on the calendar for 2022 or whenever it's going to be.
2020.
And
Yeah,
then-
probably
Well,
will
I
be,
guess,
yeah.
well, maybe
How
not.
long did it take us to do 100? It took us a long time. That's 2 years.
It took us-
52 episodes a year.
Yeah, it took a long time, but
Wow.
we got here.
Congratulations, you guys, 100 episodes. And it's
Thank
an honor
you.
to be a part of the 100.
Oh, well, it's an honor to have you here. We're so great to have you as a friend of the show. You are one
Yes.
of the best. For those, Jacob, are you gonna do you gotta do the big grand intro for those who don't remember.
Yes.
Who exactly it is that we have on the show today?
Yeah.
I mean,
Who
this
am
is
I?
not just some regular schmo.
She's
here.
the founder. She is the head of Well Aware, which Well Aware is located in Texas. And they are building water wells in East Africa, and they're changing the world. They're helping us learn about water conservation. They're well known for the shower strike, which we participated in.
Yes, we're fans of the shower strike.
Yes,
we
and
love to smell bad here.
We do. We do. So many exciting things that
Yeah.
Well Aware has done. So we're just honored to have you back.
It's so exciting to be here on your 100th episode, especially since that was the first one, which I
Yeah.
had forgotten about. It's so cool.
Unbelievable.
So what's been going on for you? I mean, obviously a lot's changed since we did our last interview. You think about 2019 to where we are here at the start of 2021. After one heck of a year we went through last year. So I wanted to hear a little bit about like what have you been up to?
Have you been able to still, get the job done with COVID and keep providing water for people?
Gosh. To answer your question, yes. It was no
Great.
small task to figure that out when we were scrambling to make a new plan when we understood the severity of COVID. And I want to talk about that a lot. I'm so proud of my team and how we so quickly switched our path.
Yeah.
But just to back up a bit more than that,
Go for
since
it.
I was on your podcast last, we have a new executive director of Well Aware, Curry Sacco, whom I think you know, and
Yeah.
she's phenomenal.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so I still do a lot in the founder role, and I'm the chairperson of the board.
Sure.
And then started another initiative that is working on technology for this sector in a similar vein.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
this is exciting.
Yeah.
Tell us about, give us the pitch. What's the deal? What's happening?
Well, okay. Well, so the inspiration for the new company Well Beyond was to try to further tackle the global water crisis, but the secondary crisis being the incredible failure rate, which I've talked to you guys about.
Yes.
Because the statistic in Africa is that about 60% of the boreholes that are drilled there don't function, which we find unacceptable for various reasons.
Yeah.
But billions of dollars are dumped into this work every year.
Yeah.
So Well Beyond was formed to support other NGOs and governments that were trying to do better work in this particular area. It evolved quickly, though, into a technology company.
Wow.
Because I don't know how much y'all know or have read about the exponentially expanding availability of technology, specifically in mobile phones and Wi-Fi connectivity in developing countries, especially in East Africa.
Yeah.
We realized we could leverage that and fill some of these gaps, some of these things that are missing in our sector, which is, focus on results over time, measurement and evaluation, maintenance, training, and needs. So we started building this out, and right about the time we were ready to pilot a part of the product in beta, COVID happened.
Okay.
Right.
We were actually in South Sudan when we realized that we couldn't be there anymore. We were supposed to remain in East Africa for another couple of weeks, but we had to
get on a plane.
So you weren't even home. You weren't even in the U.S. when the weirdness happened in March.
Wow.
No.
Oh my gosh.
We were overseas, and so we came home really, really despondent and
Yeah, sure.
sad and confused.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and the reason that I wanted to bring up Well Beyond is because it relates to what happened with Well Aware about that time.
Okay.
So we instantly knew at Well Aware that we had to lock our teams down. And even if we didn't want to lock our teams down, the governments in East Africa were locking cities and counties down.
Sure.
Schools were closed. We certainly couldn't travel back and forth. So that was a huge hit to the kind of work traditionally that we were doing, which required our local team to be out and about quite a bit. So Clarice, the executive director, and I spent about a week at my apartment brainstorming, reaching out to major donors, thinking through things, and maybe drinking a lot of wine.
Well, if it's there, if it's sitting in the fridge anyway, or the red stuff's just out in the cloud, then you may as well drink it. Or you may as well have some of it, right? Otherwise, it's just going to go to waste.
In a lot of ways, that's how you become well aware and take things well beyond.
Yes.
Oh,
so I
my gosh,
he'll be here all week.
The puns. Oh my gosh. Well, in all honesty, too, the whole idea for Well Aware in the beginning, 12 years ago or whatever, actually did happen over a bottle of wine.
So you might as well not break the format,
I
right?
feel like if you got something that works, why change it?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yes.
The theme here. And so co-founder of Well Beyond, Catherine Bergman, and Chris and I figured out that, two things.
Yeah.
When we were looking at the respectable entities, the World Health Organization, UNICEF, USAID, everybody kept saying the best thing we can do for these rural developing communities is get them the education on COVID and the training they need to properly defend themselves.
Yeah.
We all knew there was not going to be any, vaccine or further support beyond that anytime soon.
Right.
Yeah.
And we realized, we already have this digital tool that we can send information to the most remote places in the world, via mobile phone. And so we built out COVID training into our app.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's great.
It's not just content and static information, but this is interactive training and videos. We can measure the knowledge gained after people have taken the training. We can track who's taken it, at what kind of facility, the number of people who took it, and then a live real-time chat support as well.
That is so cool.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Hey.
You should always be drinking wine. That's
Right?
such a great thing you did.
It is.
Wow.
Thank you guys.
That's awesome.
It was, so much hard work. And quickly got to turn around. I need to give our app coder too a a lot of credit because
Absolutely.
we completely changed our plan for what was happening. And he said, I'm on it. Don't worry. I get it. And within a few weeks, we were already sending out this tool via our app to well-aware communities, and actually are still doing so. Now that some of the kids are back in school, now we're able to get the information into schools. Just this morning, I received another message from somebody at a school in Kavuthu, Kenya, saying, thank you so much for this, incredible information. We had no idea, we're going to pass it on to the students. So very, very proud of the team and their quick response to that. And we were able to, it was a little bit outside of, our regular mission, but not really.
Sure.
Well-Aware has always done sanitation and hygiene training on every community when we install a system anywhere at any time. And then we'll sometimes even go back if we see that information is lacking. So it's part of what we've already been doing. And now, because we realized how effective this digital training is, it will remain a part of Well-Aware's regular process going forward, COVID or disease spread notwithstanding.
Yeah, that's great. They can come together.
Yeah, exactly. And it such incredible savings too on just mileage reimbursements.
Right.
Not having to actually dispatch our teams into these communities, which is still not very safe. And then being able to track what's actually being done in real time is something that the sector has never really been able to have. So it's been a big problem in international development in general, being able to have real information on what's happening in the field in these last mile communities. And so we've started a tool that we'll expand on that solves for that. And we're pretty excited.
That's such a terrific pivot, right? I mean, there you are sitting there. You've got this problem, but then this other solution that does something slightly different, but that can be adjusted to then serve a purpose to help solve the other original problem, and then create a whole entire new way of helping people.
Yeah, that's the adaptability of what we experienced in 2020, which was, a lot of us were backed in a corner. And it was like, how do we keep going? How do we persevere? How do we move forward with these inspirational messages? And I love stories like this where you go, okay, we can't do this one thing, but we can do this, and now they are going to work together in tandem. Yeah. And it's just great.
Yeah, I mean, our other choice was do nothing.
Right.
For a year, that wasn't an option for us. Now, that said, so now we're building out the originally planned features of the app, which is water system diagnostics and maintenance. That will also serve all of Well-Aware's communities. And Well-Aware has become a little bit more active in the field now. We have teams in Tanzania and Kenya this week, actually, we're equipping a borehole in Tanzania, and we're building a rainwater harvesting system in Kenya for the largest primary school in Kenya. So
wow.
Fantastic news.
Active again, very active, but very cautiously so.
Of course. Yeah.
Nothing has really changed with the spread of the virus, but people are more aware, which helps.
Right.
So, and our team have extra masks, and we're making sure that nobody tries to gather to watch what's happening. And so,
that's great.
Yeah, understanding is everything, right? Like if you know the difference between where we are with the virus now, I mean, yes, it's still everywhere and it's still all over the place, but that is an important point that you made there, which is understanding what it is, how it works, what you can do to defend yourself against it, and how you can safely operate. I mean, it's how Siegfried and Roy used to be able to have a tiger on the stage, although he got mauled, didn't he?
That's a terrible example. What the heck?
He got mauled. I was trying to say you could be
Are you
safe
bringing
for
us
the tiger.
down today?
Right.
And then you can't be safe for the tiger. And that was dumb.
No.
Oh.
That's classic Biofriendly Podcast, by the way.
Go home.
No. You want to know why?
Yeah.
You're in a suit.
See? So
You can get away with your
anyway.
Siegfried and Roy reference all you want.
I mean, until he was mauled, it worked pretty well.
I mean, up until that point.
Up until that point.
I wish
they
you
had a tiger on stage, several tigers on stage, and everybody was fine. It was happy. It was great because they knew the tiger. But that's a warning. Just because you understand the virus and know the virus doesn't mean you can't get mauled by a tiger.
By the virus.
What? The
Yes.
virus.
Yeah. I wish you were,
So I turned it around.
I wish you were wearing a Siegfried and Roy looking suit. That's the only thing I wish.
I wish I could feather my hair like they did.
Oh my gosh, I would love to see that. Please do that one.
Yes. Well, this is the classic tangents that that happen on this show. So we're gonna come back to now what you were saying.
Just for a minute.
Yeah. And then we're gonna get back to tigers. Anyway.
Perfect.
Yes, absolutely. No, but that's it, right? So now you're able to get back in there and keep up with it just because of what we know and because you're responsible with that, which is really that's terrific. This whole thing's terrific. I'm so excited with how much you've grown and how much is going on there, how much more help you're able to provide.
Yeah. It's
really
been a really great couple of years in general, and I think largely due to how we were able to shift gears quickly and still have a big impact. Welliver did quite well last year, despite the general environment not being kind for a lot of businesses. So we're incredibly grateful for that, and our loyal supporters. Thank you guys, and our major donors.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's something we always say around here is if you're doing the right thing, and you're doing it well, generally, you can keep on keeping on. You can keep surviving and keep growing. And so you guys are definitely doing the right thing. Yeah. So we're y'all inclusive. Y'all are doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's our no, that was our tag in 2020 was y'all inclusive.
We were y'all inclusive.
We decided to take the phrase all inclusive and throw a y'all in there. So that's a little tip of the hat to our Texas support that we get from Sarah.
I'm kind of jealous I didn't think about that.
Y'all inclusive.
We feel like 50% of our shows include guests from either Canada or Texas.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
There's just
I don't know.
They're growing environmentalists.
I think that's just where the environment's blooming.
That's true. That's a good point.
Absolutely.
Austin specifically, probably,
Yeah, totally.
Is there an app that Well Beyond has or something like that? Is that how it works? Something that the regular population can be like, I want to check in what's going on in East African wells. Is that something that is out there?
That a schmo could do?
Yeah.
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
We are in the Google Play Store, so all of the populations we're serving are on Android, so that we prioritized that, which was no small feat. Both Google and Apple are very careful about any kind of health-related information in applications, which they should be.
Yeah, good reason.
And it's also available as a web app. And so anybody can go and take a look at the content that's there and what's being distributed. Now, but a regular user cannot log in and have access to the administrative portal.
Sure.
That is proprietary for the organization.
You can't hack the wells. You can't just break in and start hacking the wells.
Well, if you just
could.
But if it was just available on the app, that would be kind of backwards. Right?
Yeah, right.
It's like, here, have this app and turn our wells off. That's not a really useful app.
They thought this through. Yeah.
The other thing you mentioned that I want to highlight is the value of a great team. Like what it means when you have great people working for you, and also just that attitude that that your programmer had of just like, okay, it's a problem, we'll fix it. Fine, we're pivoting, let's go, let's do this.
Yeah, hold your calls, ladies and gentlemen.
People
Stop
are so
trying to
excited you're here.
They're trying to call in. They want to talk to you, but hold your calls.
Yeah.
So go on.
Sorry, no, but how wonderful is that to have a team like you do that says yes, let's do it.
It's phenomenal. And I don't know why I'm constantly surprised. But we've all worked really, really hard to develop a reputation for being trusted with the kooky ideas we come up with, like Shower Strike, and so I think we do have supporters who understand that even if it's something really new and a little bit weird, that we are going to be reliable stewards of their support and contributions. And then for the team, oh my gosh, I don't even know how we ended up with these incredible people. But at Well Aware alone, in the Austin office, all women, just really incredible, talented, committed, change managing people. And then we have a team in East Africa. We have 5 now, people on the ground working at any given time. On the Well Beyond side, it's really just me and Catherine and the coder But again, just
Yeah.
really ready to take on anything that comes our way. And gosh, in 2020, who would have thought? But they proved themselves. I guess I proved myself too. It was nuts, but so crazy proud of them. So grateful to have that kind of team doing this kind of work, and especially in a sector where some things are often overlooked. I'm pretty sure we talked about this last time, and I mentioned earlier the failure rate of water systems. But unfortunately, I think that our industry hasn't done the general population a service in emphasizing the water system being built and the beautiful picture of the child drinking the water the day after, where really that success photo should happen 10 years later.
Right.
Right. The water system is still running and it's serving the intended beneficiaries, and it's actually having an impact, and that impact should be being measured. So it's one thing to come in wanting to do this kind of work. It's a whole other thing to come in wanting to do it right. Especially when you're going against the grain in a way with a lot of the other water NGOs. I say that I want to also give credit to the water sector, because a lot more people are talking about this now.
That's good. That's
willing to embrace a new direction and talk about these real issues, and how what's been being done really doesn't long-term serve communities. It's actually kind of insulting, a little bit patronizing.
Sure. Come here and pose for this photo while we give you a well that breaks. So crazy proud of these folks, for sure. Well, it's we got folks like you guys in there changing the game, and then everyone else has to step up. That's one of the great things about just the disruptors, right? You jump in and you shake things up and you do things the right way, and suddenly everyone else is like, oh, I guess we have to do it like this now. Yeah. So again,
that's
well
just
done.
it. Yeah, and I feel like I've been beating this drum for years, and I've had more than a handful of people tell me to stop it.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Don't rock the boat. Stay in your lane, and
you're screwing up our gig.
That's how you know you're doing something right sometimes, right? When people are like, "Hey, stop it! Just do the status quo. Just do what we've always been doing."
That's right.
Yeah. So that's you're raising the standards too high, and you're making things difficult for us, and that's really unfortunate.
Yeah. I actually want to say, ever since so much of my environmental life has changed ever since we started the podcast, because I learned so much. But I was very, very impacted by what you were doing and just the idea of water conservation, and that has really stuck with me. Yeah. I was wondering if you have seen a shifting, even just here in the United States, a way that people are treating their water systems, and are you seeing a positive kind of uptick if people are more well aware of it?
That's a good one. Actually, but I think with just the the general greater availability of environmental information in general,
like the Biofriendly Podcast, obviously.
Exactly.
Biofriendly Planet.
But really,
Biofriendly Planet. Yeah,
but really, and once you make that not just more available, but more digestible, which you guys are brilliant at doing.
Oh, thank you.
Then it helps people understand. Oh gosh, water is a big part of that. Our aquifers are a big part of that. Mm-hmm. Water quality is a big part of that. And here's something that I don't think I've talked to you guys about before, but I'm a member of an organization called the Truman National Security Project, and I'm asked from time to time to talk about how water is very, very important for national security.
Okay, let's do this.
Do you have an idea about that, or should I dive in?
I want you to dive in, because that's too cool of a little headline right there.
Let's do it. Right? Let's do this.
I'll just let you guys look it up.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
If you're interested in the topic, Google it right now.
That's so brilliant, right? You give the perfect tease for an awesome topic and say, and that's all the time we have.
We're a clickbait. We're the world's first clickbait podcast. Where it's like we tell you headlines, or we're not going to tell you.
Yeah, we're not going to tell you anything about it. No, please, you can't tease us like this.
Yeah. No, it's a fascinating topic, and it can be quite scary, but not once people understand it. Sure. But as we have climate change and sea levels are rising and aquifers are being depleted and soil is being depleted, what we're going to see in the coming years, if nothing is done and these things continue to get worse at the pace that they are now, is mass migration. Of people who cannot live in places anymore because it's uninhabitable.
Right.
And we're talking about millions of people. And so that's going to impact all kinds of countries around the world, but maybe possibly especially the United States, depending. So it is in any kind of mass, refugee situation is a national security concern. And it could, I do not want to be a doomsayer, but it could be at a scale that we haven't ever seen before.
Yeah.
Right.
Or we could, change that and do our part and force corporations to do their part and not have to go there.
Yeah. Do you know that is so great because we talk all the time about it's not just global warming because it's oftentimes in our business it's always and then global warming and that's totally important and it needs to remain at the forefront of the discussion. However, there are a lot of environmental issues that need to be covered and a lot of things that could potentially cause problems that we just aren't always looking at. So with that in mind, do you have any little quick tips or things that you would recommend people look at or try to do or anything simple someone could do to help with the problems we have with overusing the aquifers? And we talked about depleting soil a little bit in some other recently.
Yeah, we did.
But if you talk more specifically about water, I think that would be really helpful.
So what I've learned from all these young people doing all of these incredible, climate walks and Greta and her initiative, and I've been schooled on this. I love these young people these days. And what I know now, and also after further research and being part of that group, is that the vast majority of these issues are coming from businesses and corporations, right? So as individuals, we should certainly do our part. I was just fussing at Catherine earlier because she didn't rinse her recyclable before she put it in the recycle can. I'm like, why do I care? It probably means nothing. Because I think I'm going to botch this statistic, but I did a live interview with the Washington Post.
We're going to hold you to it. If you botch the number, we'll never forgive you. The fact that it's wrong, we're going to
bring it up on the PJ episode. That's for sure.
We'll say, way to go on giving us a number that was 2% off.
As long as it can be PJ and wine.
Yes, PJ and wine. Yeah.
PJs and wine for 200.
I love it.
We're in it. That's what we're going to call the episode. PJs and wine
with Sarah Evans.
Yes.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
But I think it's upwards of 90% of what we're seeing in the depletion of water and overuse of water is actually coming from big companies, mostly agriculture.
Yeah.
Both beef and other types of crops that are non-meat. And then you would be so shocked, or maybe not, about how just like factories that manufacture blue jeans, how much water is used there, and all kinds of consumables.
Yeah, we've talked about the fast fashion industry and the agriculture industry, and there's just a lot of big companies that are doing things. It's inspiring to see the little ones that are coming along and shifting the tide for the water.
Yeah, but we have all sorts of fun disruptors on this show.
Yeah, we really do.
Sorry, go ahead.
You're to your point. So go on.
I mean, I could absolutely sit here and give people tips for, their homes and what they can do better. But I'd rather just say, purchase more wisely and hold politicians accountable and, work toward helping to force this policy and these changes so that these companies are more heavily regulated and kept accountable for what they're doing to our world.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so funny, but the people. Those people who are running these newer, more responsible businesses, they are finding ways to do this in a way that's sustainable, that's manageable, that can be done, right? And so it's such a good point about thinking about what you're buying when you're shopping, like taking a look at is this which companies are producing things that are better for the environment and frankly in most cases taste better. I mean, a lot of times we'll have someone on the show and they'll give us whatever like food or whatever and it's like better. It's like
it's good for you.
It's better. And then and then we're like, oh, this is great. We have them on the show and they talk about it and like, oh, and you're saving the planet.
Yeah.
And that's yeah. So no, that's right. Look for Look for the good for you chocolate, right,
Yes.
Jacob?
Yes. Look for the good for you chocolate.
Yeah.
And to your point, that's so much of why, from the first time you came on the show to where we are today, that the spirit of the show is the general populace is oftentimes hearing these news reports and they're going, there's nothing I can do. I can't beat it. And that it just shouldn't discourage you, because if you didn't rinse out the container going in the recycling, it's okay. You didn't break the planet. I promise you. Right. It's these bigger decisions that we make, holding the bigger power players accountable and really making those choices to go, I'm going to support a business. I'm going to support a food that is doing things the right way.
And maybe deciding next time I will rinse out the recycling.
And maybe,
and think like, I did it that time, darn it. But next time,
but
I'm
not beat
I'm
yourself
gonna
up
do it.
over it. Right. It's a good point.
And also, I think too, here's something else. I think if you are as an individual just kind of doing your part, it makes you more environmentally inclined in mind.
It does.
Right?
It's just a mindset.
It is.
That's right. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really important. You should vote with your dollar, but also like there are plenty of organizations and ways you can get involved in affecting policy and bigger efforts to keep these big corporations accountable, which I think are making some progress. And you're right, this is not an option. Like this is not a second lesser option. It's just that, they're not advertised as well. They don't have the spending behind the marketing dollars.
I mean, branding is like, there's a reason why Nike, spends so much money to have incredible athletes wear their clothes and their shoes, right? Just because that's what gets people to know that they exist and they're there. So that's what you're up against, right? A lot of these disruptors are up against that kind of money and that kind of that kind of influence. So you do have to sort of just be well aware about what's happening in the world and how you can make a difference.
You can also go well beyond.
Yes, you can go well beyond.
Go well beyond what you currently know and do. Yeah, well, and there's another thing that another hack that I don't know if I've talked about it. I've talked about it to friends and stuff, but if you live in a state or a city or an area that predominantly seems to put up the same kind of candidate, from the same party, right? It behooves you to register for that party. The reason is not because necessarily you support that party. This is interesting, right? But like in California, even if you aren't a Democrat, it makes sense to register as a Democrat because just because someone is from that political party doesn't mean that they themselves are as interested in the environmental issue or the issue you care about. And you cannot get them out of office if you're not voting in the primary. Sometimes the primary is the election.
Whoa.
And because
I've heard that. Yep.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, you've talked to me about this
So
too.
if the primary is the election, sometimes it might behoove you. If you find that in your area, it's always a red candidate or it's always a blue candidate, you probably need to register for that party so that you can have a say in the primary and get a better person up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Life hacks.
Yep. I know about that. I think that, yes, that's been happening. Certain people have known that for years and been quite active in playing that game. Maybe not in our best interest, but yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
That's true. Yeah. So it's time for us to take it back for our best interest.
Take control. And then you know what? And then eventually, and that doesn't mean in the general election you can't still vote for the person who you think is better. I'm not saying don't do that because just because you're registered doesn't mean you vote that way, right? You always pick the better person. It's just... in some states it's a foregone conclusion who's going to win, and in some states it's not. Right? If you live in a state where it isn't, then you should just go for it and vote your heart. Right? But anyways, it's a little political hack for anybody who wants it.
Well,
that's a good one.
I have a funny little story that I just wanted to share based on how much you've affected me and how much this has been a part of my life. So my son is now he's 12. And up until this point, it's been mostly likes to take a bath, to get clean and whatnot. But he's starting to understand the concept of showers. Yeah. And he's starting to understand like how a shower is very nice and how great it is. I think it's something that you grow into. And
he never leaves.
So here's this is the joke that I was going to say. This is totally it. So I have become so obsessed with water conservation that I have a bucket that when I run the shower and the cold water's coming out, I put gray water in there and I bring it out. And we water the plants with it. I've gotten so obsessed with it. And so I time my showers when I take my showers. Everybody else in the family knows that. And so I came home and my wife was like, our son today discovered how wonderful showers are. And I was like, that's okay if he stayed in there for a 7-minute shower. And they both opened their eyes wide like that. And I went, okay, 8 minutes. And they both just kind of stood there and I kept counting up until I got to the number. And I go, you guys, you cannot have a shower. That I am from the Biofriendly Podcast, and I know Sarah from Well Aware, and I was like, we are
these Well Aware people.
Yeah, and he had this look on his face that was so guilty, and I said, I'm partially teasing, son. You can get away with that once, but I said you cannot take showers that long every single time. So anyway, I wanted you to know that it is so deeply embedded in my mind that I was like, no. So anyway, I won't say the number.
No, because you don't want the embarrassment.
Honored that I have affected your household in that way. Like, yes. I feel really special about that. So I have an 8-year-old daughter.
Okay.
I'm sorry, she just turned 9 like last week.
Can you believe it? They keep getting older every year.
Older, even these years that we're sitting in our homes.
This year shouldn't count.
It shouldn't count. We should get it back. Yeah.
I keep telling her I'm going to stop feeding her so she stops getting bigger. And she says, Mommy, then I would not be okay. But she has, she's been, since she was born, she's been like hearing all these messages from Well Aware. She calls herself the vice president. She's very
I love it.
That's awesome.
Involved. And so her awareness of water is even better than mine now.
Wow.
When she has showers, she prefers showers already, but she knows to turn the water off when she's like sudsing up or shampooing or whatever. And
totally.
Turn it back on to rinse and, to lather. But I overheard her the other day. She was in the bathroom over here, and we have a cat named Jenny, and she didn't know I was listening. And the cat really likes to play in the water. So sometimes we'll turn on the bathtub faucet so the cat can, play around and be cat-like.
Yeah.
And I heard Violet tell Jenny the cat, Jenny, I can't keep the water on for you because we're well aware and we have to save water. As if A, the cat could understand that. Yes. And B, like the water drip was really going to have an impact, but it was so sweet. I was so proud.
That's precious though, because that's exactly, I mean, I tease my oldest. He is a good kid and he listens to the show. And so he's going to hear this story and be like, Dad, you threw me under the bus. You threw me under the bus. Cause he is, he's much older. My youngest is only 6. So he's picking up on stuff, but my oldest is aware of water and does a lot of the things that I've taught him to do and does take it very seriously. And so it was that moment of shower weakness that he had that I said, it's okay. Just know. Yeah.
Remember, I mean, that's one of the points of our show too, right? It's like
it's okay.
If you can't do this, you can't do the thing. We're not gonna kill you over it because there's something else. We're just trying to find the thing that gets you to switch your mindset.
Yeah,
totally.
And if you're putting too much pressure on yourself, you're just going to reject it altogether.
Yeah,
exactly. Right? Like the most of people in our country that have tuned it out, and so we gotta find a way to get to it.
Right, or like a diet, right? Like when you're trying to eat well and you're going well, and then somehow you eat that hamburger, and then it's like, well, it's all ruined anyway, and then you spend the rest of the week eting like garbage, right? So
that's the story of my life.
It's a story of my life,
of everyone's life. So like that's what we try to encourage. Is like that. It's okay. That's
exactly.
What? A 15-minute.
I'm not going to say that.
No, I'm going to keep saying numbers until Jacob gives me an indication.
Exactly. It wasn't that bad. You're around the ballpark.
When it happens,
you're around the ballpark.
It's like you forgot to rinse out the recycle. It happened. Okay, that happened.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do tomorrow?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because we're all trying. And that's
we're all trying.
We're all trying.
Perfect at anything, dang it, right?
And it's all corporations' fault anyway.
Well, is there anything else that I know you had some great fundraisers and initiatives at the end of last year, but I wanted to talk about anything coming forward that we can support, that we can share, that we can get people to go and look and donate. What is Well Aware and Well Beyond have coming up in 2021?
They're the best. Appreciate that so much. So we do have a lot of exciting things coming up. And And now that we're pretty sure we'll be able to get back at some point this year,
Sure.
we are full speed ahead in fundraising and awareness initiatives at Well Aware. So we have a really fun event coming up in April, launching on World Water Day, having to do with showers.
Okay.
Called the Shower Strike.
The one that we know. So Shower Strike is back.
It's going to be back and bigger and better than ever.
Bigger and better than ever.
I'm ready.
I know. And we've set our goal the highest it's ever been. So
That's awesome.
It launches on Earth Day, which is April 22nd, but you'll start seeing all
Stuff
kinds
leading
of
up to it. Yeah.
opportunities and ways to be a part of Shower Strike pretty soon. As a matter of fact, for your listeners, if you just head to the Well Aware website, which is wellawareworld.org, it'll prompt you to sign up for the newsletter, and then you can get all the information on that.
Wellawareworld.org.
Yes. And then
we'll link that everywhere, by the way.
Awesome.
Where we're putting stuff, we'll link it. So
it's
definitely.
a really beautiful website. The team, I have nothing to do with this. The team has done a phenomenal job making everything really beautiful and user-friendly. We have a Women's Day, an International Women's Day
Cool.
live event panel coming up too on March 8th. Again, wellawareworld.org. Sign up and get all the info. That'll be really fun. We're going to have some really impressive women doing very impactful work. And Carice, our AD, is going to moderate and ask some really cool questions.
Awesome.
And that'll be fun to be a part of. Yeah.
Nice.
That's exciting. Great. Yeah. Well, and for our listeners who have joined us within the past months and don't know what the shower strike is, it's not fighting showers, like punching them. It's not.
Although you can if you want.
I mean, go punch a shower.
That helps you.
Go punch a shower.
Yes.
No, shower strike is, you go as long as you can without a shower while you're fundraising.
You go on an employee strike where you are leaving the business of taking showers. For a period of as long as it takes for you to raise the
hit
money.
Your goal. Yeah. And we did it, and we'll probably do it again this year.
Yeah.
So
that's how we do
I
it.
love it. I look forward to Shower Strike every year. I only shower about one. I shouldn't say. I'm fine with it. I'll just leave it at that. And we're interested to see how it's going to play out this year, since many people are still working from home, and an entry barrier in the past has been people don't want to show up to work and be colleagues or their clients and not be super clean. So
now you can say you got no excuse. If you're working from home, you can be as stinky as you want. The only victim is your spouse, the person you're living with, your roommates maybe.
Well,
but
we found lots of cheats also where we would like to, but we wouldn't shower, but maybe there'd be like a washcloth that made its way around the body.
Yeah,
you can do that.
Yeah, and part of the toolkit when you sign up to be a shower striker is all of these sort of like loopholes, right? So go swimming. And use the washcloth, the bucket bath. We have bucket bath instructions from our friend in Tanzania. So it's a lot of resources. But it's really fun.
Shower Strike didn't happen in 2020, correct? It didn't?
It was the first year since before we even did our first water system that Shower Strike didn't happen. And
I remember that being the case.
So we're doubling it up this year.
We're going
to do a double slammy whammy. Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're going to strike the heck out of those showers this year. We're going to beat them to a pulp.
Beat them.
So excited. Y'all are one of our rock star teams. So very excited to have you back.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Fun for people who don't know about it. Like it's interesting when you start, posting to your networks, the attention that you get from Shower Strike is really positive, and it's fun. It's weird. It's quirky. It's not a race or a bike ride, so it stands out. And people have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's great. Is there anything? We've run the gamut here. We've covered the topics. I just want to make sure. Was there anything else, Sarah, that you wanted to share or cover with us before we wrap up the
100th episode?
The 100th episode of the Biofriendly Podcast.
Cool. I feel like I should say something really profound and amazing because it's the 100th episode.
Yes.
You've covered it all. You're so good at this. You've covered all the questions.
Gave us a tagline, if that helps.
Yeah. What did
Profound and amazing.
Profound and amazing. Yes, that's being added. It's being
Profound
added.
and amazing.
Profound
is
and
such
amazing.
a tag for our show.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you remember the rules of this or not, Sarah, but we start the year with we just say your beacon of light in a gloomy environment. That's our tag. And then as the year goes on and someone says something that sparks us, we add that to the tag, and the tag gets bigger and bigger until the end of the year, and then we have like 14 things we say.
That's
And
so
then
cool.
we wipe it clean at the beginning of the year and start over. So we're at the start over point. We do have one, though.
We do, and I know you can remember it. It's a very long word that begins with the letter N that I can't say, so I want you to say it.
Okay.
Because I can't pronounce it. Do you remember?
Neonicotinoids.
Yes,
Nicotinoids.
yes.
Neonicotinoids.
I want you to pronounce it this time.
So then you're going to do
I'll do profound and amazing.
profound and amazing.
And I won't forget.
Okay.
I promise. Because
All
we're
right.
just now saying
So
it.
you're going to go through the experience of our...
Have you thought about using the longest word in the English language?
Anti-disestablishmentarianism?
No, pneumona ultramicroscopic silicovolcaniconiosis.
Oh my gosh, it got passed up. We got a new biggest word.
There's a new biggest word? Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
It means
did not
it's a
know
medical term. It just means black lung, right? Yeah.
I love that's brilliant.
That
That
is
black
brilliant.
lung is now a 7-hour process just to say the name. That's good.
I love that I'm wrong. Like my son asked me maybe a couple months ago. He's like, "What's the longest word in the English language?" And I said, "Anti-disestablishmentarianism." But it's not. It's
Back
now
in the
this one.
1980s,
Back
when
in
we
the
were
80s.
told what the longest word was, it
Yeah.
probably was.
Yeah, but
but
this one's longer.
science
Yeah.
has been very upset that politics had the longest
I'm
name,
so
they
sorry.
took
I
it.
ruined your authority on the matter.
No, it's fine. I can't prevent him from taking long showers apparently. So, and I was thinking a forward business for you. You have Wellware, you have
Yes.
Well Beyond, and
Well-meaning?
I was gonna say Wineaware. She
Wine-
could start her own vineyard. You can start your own vineyard one day that is water, saves water, conserves water, and does things in like an organic, holistic way. You could totally have the
You know
Wineaware
what?
brand.
You make it well wine.
That is so good.
So you get it.
well wine, yeah.
Wine. You have wine that's produced with
water.
well water.
Yeah.
That's
good too. I'm vision boarding all of this.
Okay,
later,
good.
guys.
That's all.
It's really good.
What we like to do is throw bad ideas at the wall and see if anyone will accept them.
Just throw the pasta, just see what sticks. I love it. Oh, well,
It's not a bad method.
yeah. Well,
I
thank you.
do want to say,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, first, I just want you guys to know how grateful we are for not just your support, ongoing support, but your enthusiasm and advocacy for our work, because it is because of you, people like you guys, that we get to grow and do more. And we're very,
wonderful.
very grateful.
You're very welcome. And
Yes.
we appreciate that.
We're happy to be partners like Siegfried and Roy.
We are
together.
the Siegfried and Roy of podcasts.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the tiger came back.
Did we
Oh,
just
yeah.
get 2 in 1?
Yes, we
the
did.
Siegfried and Roy
Yeah.
of podcasts?
Okay, let's do it.
Are we going
Let's
to
do it.
double?
Let's-
See, this is what happens. You get Sarah on the show and they just...
Here's what I
I
say we
witnessed
do.
it.
We'll do it right now, and then if it sticks next week, we'll know, right? Remember?
Yes.
We'll do it, and if it sticks, if we can remember it,
we can remember
then
it.
it stays. Okay. Well, thank you, Sarah Evans, Wellware, Well Beyond. Make sure we'll link everything so everybody can keep up. Stay tuned for the shower strike, which will be coming up closer to Earth Day, correct?
Yes.
That's when it's going to start, but we'll post some stuff about that.
And
But,
find out more at wellawareworld.org.
And is there a site for Well Beyond?
Yeah, it is. It's wellbeyondwater.com.
Wellbeyondwater.com.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, you always got to find the extra word.
Wow,
What's
wow,
that
wow,
extra?
wow.
I know. All the other ones were taken, right?
Oh,
Unless you
What?
pay a bunch of money.
right.
I know. And then they do. They want $400,000 for a domain name.
for a
And you're
domain
like, are
name.
you kidding me? I'll just add it. I'll just add world.
Forget about it. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good.
Y'all are the best.
You're the
Thank you
best.
so much.
You're y'all inclusive is what you are.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait to be back sometime.
Yeah, we for PJs and Wine, episode
Yes!
200. We'll keep you. We'll put it on the calendar now. So
All right, are we ready for this?
We're ready
Are
for
we
this.
doing the tags?
Yes, we're doing the tags.
Okay.
And remember, when we say goodbye, we do Cheerio.
That's right. Cheerio. It's no longer
No longer
Okay.
Muppets. Okay.
We got to figure out our show here.
Okay, so we are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Avoiding neonicotinoids wherever possible.
Sure. Profound and amazing.
And with that one show, I've already forgotten it. Oh, the Siegfried and Roy of podcasts.
The Siegfried and Roy of podcasts. Yes, I love it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah Evans. See you next time. Thanks for joining us on the Biofriendly Podcast.
And thank you for all that you do.
Yes.
And cheerio.
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 It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.